Well, hey, neighbor, it's me, Angie. I'm in the driveway. The sun is shining so nice. The wind is blowing. It's probably 60 something degrees here today. I come out here to get some vitamin D. I need it. I need that vitamin D. And even though it's not really hot, it doesn't have to be hot to get vitamin D from the sun. Believe it or not, it doesn't. Just all you have to do is just let it shine on you. I don't know how well my camera's doing with all this wind blowing, but I hope it's not interfering with the taping of this video. But once again, it's time for our neighborhood chat. I know it's coming around quite frequently lately. I decided to do the neighborhood chat earlier this week because if you were at my live today, you know that we're going to be traveling to get my granddaughter Thursday. And I have to give that baby my undivided attention when she comes to visit. I don't get to have her or see her that often, and she's going to have my undivided attention. And of course, Lincoln will be the same way when he gets here. I can't wait for that baby's arrival. But anyway, let's get off that and talk about our neighborhood chat. And our neighborhood chat today is going to be about, what do you do when there's a broken relationship that you're dealing with and you don't know how to move forward? How do you deal with a broken relationship? Especially if it's not your fault. And even if it is something you had to do in order to break the relationship, you have to cope with that too. And it's no judgment on my part, because I've had to let go of relationships because I'm not having drama, manipulation, control, self-centeredness. I'm not having anything that disrupts my peace. And the God I serve, I think he understands that. Now, I'm loving these people from a distance. I just want you to understand that. But I'm not having drama. And to me, that's the biggest waste of time that can go on in somebody's life, is unnecessary drama and nastiness and bullying and making someone feel less than, making someone feel like they're worthless. But what do you do when a relationship, friendship, anything like that comes to an end? Number one, the one that you don't know what happened. They just stop associating with you, and you've had this relationship for friendship, whatever you want to call it, for years, and all of a sudden there's nothing. I mean, I don't know, and I don't understand how someone can cut someone off after being friends several years with no communication. I've had that happen to me before, and it's like grieving someone that's passed, but they're still alive. When two adults cannot sit down and talk and work things out, and sometimes you can't work things out because you are on one plane, they're on another plane, and you just cannot come to a place where you all can continue to be as close as you were, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to quit speaking to each other. I've had people come and go in my life, but then they'll come back around and they'll come back. And it's like when I see them, we just pick up right where we left off. Right where we were last saw each other, we can pick up. Wasn't that I was mad at them or angry with them, but they just left for a while and they come back. And sometimes people don't come back. They're just there for a season, a reason. Different things happen in different relationships, and people are only in your life for a short time, and it can hurt. But I'm talking about these relationships that have gone on for years, and then all of a sudden one or somebody in the relationship says, we're not friends anymore for any whatever reason. That I don't really understand. Now, in my case, when this person hurt me, now I could almost take someone that was not really close to me and didn't want to talk to me anymore. I could say, okay, good, whatever, fine. But because this person and I had such a, I thought, close relationship, and we had shared so much over the 10 years of being friends, how could you not want to continue to be friends? I mean, it seemed like we could have worked through whatever it was, but obviously that didn't happen. I forgave the person. I didn't talk bad about the person the whole time we wasn't speaking to each other. Never said a bad thing against them. I still love the person to this day. But I wanted to remember the good times that we had, because we had some funny, good times. I mean, we had some times that we cried together, laughed together, spent holidays together. I mean, and if I got angry over it, I would have to put those good memories on the shelf and not remember them. And I didn't want to do that. So I forgave this person. Forgiveness is the first thing, whether the person comes back to be your friend or if you even want them to. I mean, sometimes that bridge is burnt and there's too much water under the bridge and it just can't be rebuilt. And it's amazing how you can love someone and not trust them, because it takes about 2 seconds to lose trust. And when you lose trust, it's all over. It takes years to gain back trust when you lose it in someone. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Just means you don't trust them anymore. And I think maybe I shouldn't have put as much trust into this person as I did. And I've learned from that. I have. I mean, it was a lesson. It was a lesson going through the whole thing of our friendship ending. You could say I went to school and I learned a lot. And that's one good thing that come out of it, is I learned a lot. Do I wish that we could have still been friends? Well, of course, but it didn't happen that way. And I went on with my life, and I'm good now, but I don't understand why it had to happen. As many times as we've talked and sat down and said, if something comes up, we're just going to talk about it. Which that didn't happen. But when you lose a friend or someone you thought were your friends, I mean, maybe it's a friendship that you just started and you really thought you could trust this person, and you find out that you can't. Then you feel like you've been taken advantage of, used, all this, You still have to forgive. Well, you should forgive. I don't care how old you are. The immaturity of some people never ceases to amaze me. And I can only base what I'm saying to you on women, because women can hold on to something for years, like a grudge or something you did to them, and you may not even know that you did it. And then jealousy can creep in. And sometimes if it's a new relationship, you just realize that you're not compatible. But if it's been a long relationship, it's like, how did we get here? What happened? So when you're dealing with a relationship / friendship that has come to an end or is having trouble, just don't blame yourself and say, I still love that person, but I cannot allow them to walk all over me and treat me ugly and talk about me. Maybe they're talking about you. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. And deal with the pain. Like me, I prayed a lot. I prayed a lot when I was going through it. I cried. I couldn't understand it. But I knew I had not done anything wrong. And when the other party is not willing to meet you halfway, you might as well just let it go until they're willing to come to you. And that may never happen. And if it does, you're not going to feel the same anyway, because once this person finally came to me and we started talking again, I did not even see this person in the same way that I saw them when we were actually friends for so many years. I just looked at her and thought, I never really knew you. I don't really know who you are. And I was always me and open and the same person and never was any different. So she knew me. And I'm glad that she and I finally talked, because we didn't even speak for 6 years. That wasn't on me. That was on her. I would have spoke to her, but she didn't speak to me, and I wasn't going to push myself on her. And once we did finally speak, and I was relieved that I got out what I really wanted to say. But it still would have never went back like it was before. It would have never, ever. Because I didn't trust her. I had went on with my life after 6 years. I mean, memories that I had made with other people and other friends I had made. And, I mean, it couldn't go back to the way it was. And I didn't want it to. And she didn't want it to either. She hated that it happened and wished that it had not happened, but it was too late then. So when you set out to not be friends with someone that you've been friends with for many, many years, have a good reason. I mean, the only reason that I would think that I wouldn't be friends with a female, well, it's a couple of reasons. Number one, if you tried to sleep with my husband or succeeded, but I would actually probably kill James, but that's another video. But, I would have to blame him the same percentage that I blamed her. I mean, but that would be a deal breaker. Gossiping about me continually to other people in a negative way, that would be a deal breaker. So there are a couple of things that would be a deal breaker, but for the most part in this relationship I had, nothing like that ever happened. And if you're struggling with a friendship ending, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just know that it happens to everybody. At least I think it does. And I have met so many people since that friendship ended that I probably would have never met had it not ended. And my journey has come so far that now I'm very inclusive, which back then I think I was exclusive, because she and I We're always together. When you saw her, you saw me. When you saw me, you saw her. Or my family, our children had ball games. She and her husband were there. I was at her house. She was at my house. We went shopping, on vacation. I mean, it was just given. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. So I think she took up a lot of my time, and then I didn't know what to do after that. But now, since I'm more inclusive and not exclusive, now I have friends. I have close friends, but I doubt I'll ever have someone that I allow myself to get that close to again. I don't regret it, because at that time and that age that I needed that. But I don't think that'll happen again. I don't need that now in my life. I like where I am. I know who I am. I can be with me. I don't have to have somebody with me all the time, to validate who I am. I don't have to prove myself. If you sincerely ask this person to forgive you, if you think you've done something, or if you've asked them, have you done something, and they won't answer you, walk away and say, I would, being a Christian, God, I don't know why this has happened, but everything that happens, something good will come out of it. And I'm going to miss this person, but I know there's better things ahead on my journey. And for me, there has been. I mean, I know I say this each video, but I'm very blessed. And I'm very humbled to say that, because I wake up every morning and think about the people that are struggling with things that I don't struggle with. Depression, anxiety, sadness, loneliness. I do deal with being in a wheelchair, a lot of pain, but physical pain. But as far as I'm surrounded by a loving family that I love dearly. James takes really good care of me. I don't have to struggle financially. I don't say that in a bragging way. I just say it. I'm blessed in that area. James and I have worked really hard from the time we got married until now to plan for us not to have to worry about that. After 36 years, you should have something to show for it. And we had a plan. And I think about the people I said on my live today about having children that they're bringing up, 3 and 4 children. I don't know how they're doing it, because everything's so expensive. I mean, when my children were coming up, when they turned 15 or 16, they got a car. Wasn't a brand new one, but they got a car, their first car. They had anything they wanted as far as school was concerned. They played sports. All that was expensive. Every Christmas, they had things under the tree. But, I can't imagine now trying to give 4 or 5 children what they need, much less extra. It has to be a struggle. But when you have a relationship/friendship that ends, don't be so hard on yourself. And I know it took me a couple of years to really let go of it. It was a process. It wasn't like I could just get mad and say, fine, because I didn't really want to get mad. Because the first year I thought, well, this is just something, everything will work out. This person's just dealing with things, and, it'll work out. Well, it didn't. Next year went by, and then finally I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to move on. I've stood here and waited for 2 years, and I can't do it. And I just moved on, and I'm so glad that I did, because like I said, once we spoke, after we didn't speak for 6 years, I didn't even look at this person the same way. It was like, I didn't did I ever really know you? And I didn't feel guilty because I knew that I had been honest and open and was who I was. So if you know that you have done everything that you could, and there's some friendships you have to walk away from for your own peace, because they appear to be one way, and then after you get to know them, there's something totally different. And you don't want to have to put up with that. And there are times that you need to walk away from people that do not bring peace into your life, and it's an uproar, and it's drama, and it's, and some people come into your life thinking that you're supposed to take care of them. That's the only thing they want out of you, is the fact that they want you to take care of them. And if you desire to do that, that's fine. But if you don't, you can't stay in a friendship with that person expecting you to take care of them. You're going to resent it. And don't stay friends with somebody just to have a friend. Because I believe God will put people in your life that will be your friend and be your true friend. You will find the people that you're supposed to be with. I honestly believe that. But neighbor, just remember, don't blame yourself. Forgive yourself if you're holding guilt. Hold on to the good memories of that friendship, but just know that, things end. And it's okay. It's okay that things end. Our physical and our emotional being don't agree with that, but, spiritually we know things end. And with that being said, neighbor, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you'll know the next time I'm coming to you with our neighborhood chat. And one last thing I want to say to you, neighbor, is I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. And remember, I'm your friend, and I enjoy each and every one of you. So glad I think I had like 35 people in my chat at one time today. Thanks for dropping by, neighbor. Bye.